Along the journey, I mean, I turned Crown Yourself into a coaching company in 2016 when I realized it was a mindset shift that needed to happen. When I realized I was pregnant, when I realized I had $40,000 worth of debt, and I still slapped $5,000 down to go get certified in NLP, timeline therapy, and hypnosis on a credit card because my gut and intuition was like, this is what you need. Oh, and by the way, it's in 2 weeks. You're going to be driving by yourself to Vegas to stay at a hotel that you can't afford so that you can just get this training. And I did that and it changed my life. And I'm so grateful for that experience and listening to that intuition and trusting that it would work out. Because I was in such a place of surrender that I was willing to receive, I was willing to heal. And so I started out with mindset, body image, and wellness coaching. I then shifted into more mindset coaching and just doing breakthroughs. So I was doing breakthrough after breakthrough for clients. And then they were saying that they wanted to stay with me longer. And so I got certified in certified high performance coaching with the High Performance Institute. If you're familiar with Brendan Bouchard, I got certified through his program and got a framework for 12 weeks of high performance coaching. And so I started leveraging that. And then I started seeing from my years of business experience and growing different types of businesses and working with different leaders, I saw how this could be applicable to someone's business. And I created my own Queen Bee curriculum that I now put my clients through as well, in addition to the high performance. So we're looking at the systems, the skill sets, the strategies, the marketing. And is your marketing congruent with who you actually want to become, with your level of performance, with who you're saying you want to be online? Is it really resonating with who you are at home when you're by yourself? And so I've just been able to accumulate these experiences of seeing my clients have radical transformation, whether it's just reconnecting with their estranged children, that one brings tears to my eyes every time, because the fact, like, beyond the business success, like for me, family is everything. And I think that I have worked with extraordinary leaders who have crappy relationships with their kids and with their spouses and with their families. And it breaks my heart, because then what is success? Like, who are you building it for if your kids don't even want to be around you? And the ability to see, like, one of my clients, I was able to, like, yes, we were able to help her hit her 1-year goals in 3 months. And another one of my clients was struggling with her child with doing some things with drugs that he shouldn't have been doing. But I was able to reframe it and say, wow, he sounds really entrepreneurial. Maybe college is not for him. Maybe he actually needs to learn how to leverage his sales skill set. And I gave the metaphor of Tom Bilyeu's company and Quest Nutrition and what they built and what they saw with, hiring people who were, they were from the streets. And yet they knew, every drug dealer knew where all the competition was. And I said, he sounds really entrepreneurial. If we could just tailor that into being a positive. And she was able to recognize, this system that she was trying to get her child to fit in wasn't for him. He wasn't going to be the academic. He was going to be great at a trade school. And being able to have the conversations and have people start thinking out of the box that liberates them from thinking that they have to contort themselves to live inside a system that wasn't built for their success anyways.
That's taking a pragmatic approach to optimism, looking at the bright side of a situation. That's not to say the toxic positivity is just ignoring the reality.
Yes.
But you got to find the positive side, the silver lining. And nobody has an easy life. We mentioned it earlier. If you're too comfortable, if it's too easy, you're not trying hard enough. Everybody's life has difficulties, pain, trauma, And uh, I think that's where some find excuses and some find reasons, right?
Hmm. And I think the beautiful thing is when you can, because one time I remember I share this story in my book, Make Every Podcast Want You, of how there was a podcast that turned me down. And I rarely see because my team handles getting me booked on shows. I rarely see the turned down, but this was one particularly masochistic day that I was like, you know what, let's look at the list of rejections and why. And I remember one that stood out to me because they turned me down because I was too motivational. And I was like, what the heck? And I looked and I went to this gentleman's website and I looked at it, and it was all about hard hitting truths. And it was all about hard hitting truths and, here's the 10 steps in a system, and there's, no hope, and there was no positivity, and there was nothing. And I was like, thank you for turning me down, because you saved me time, because I am the type that I will always find a silver lining, period, in any situation. In fact, I have a question that I ask my clients regularly. I asked my client this after her father passed away. And I always preface it where I say, look, I know you're going to want to punch me after I ask this question. Is this okay to ask this question of you? And every time my clients will typically say yes. And I say, how is this the best thing that ever happened to you? And it's a hard one when you're staring at death and grief and pain and struggle and all of the stuff. But there is one of my favorite books of all time, and it is a children's book that my kids both have memorized, not intentionally, but kind of intentionally. And it's called What Do You Do with a Problem? And it's about this little boy, or it's actually just a little child. It could be a boy or a girl. And this child is facing this problem, and he tries avoiding it, and he tries running from it, and he tries hiding from it. And finally, he gets so sick of it, and it's just clouding his entire perception, that he finally has the courage to face it. And one of my favorite lines in the book is, what he realizes is that the problem was actually an opportunity, and it's an opportunity to learn and to grow and to be brave and to do something. And that's the power in every problem. And when you can look at problems through that lens, it's no longer toxic positivity. It's being able to acknowledge, like you said, Aaron, like acknowledge that there is crap. There are all the isms of this world. There are all the challenges. There's all the stuff of this world that can really drag you down. But I would much rather look at it through the lens of hope, because there's also the law of polarity. And in polarity, darkness and light simultaneously exist, and it is a paradox. And it takes a lot of consciousness to be able to hold both, to hold a yes and framework. Yes, that crap is happening, and here's the good that can actually come from it. Here's what's happening. Like, here's how communities are coming together. Here's how people are banding together in support. Here's how love is shining through. These small examples, they're cracks and lights in the darkness that we wouldn't have appreciated had there not been darkness.